Did you know that right now, beneath the White House, in a dark underground basement, a secret operation is taking place that could outmatch even the greatest mystery stories you've ever heard? Preparing just one ordinary meal for the president involves 30 people, a 96-hour secret mission, and security procedures so extreme they seem even more complicated than maintaining a nuclear missile. It may sound unbelievable, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why the security surrounding the president's meals is treated almost like protecting a nuclear weapon. So today, let's uncover what President Donald Trump eats and how every meal is prepared through one of the most mysterious operations inside the White House. The operation begins deep inside the White House basement. A chef stands silently, staring at a massive spreadsheet that looks more like a military battle plan than a cooking schedule. Every minute and every second is mapped out, exactly when each ingredient will arrive, which oven will cook which dish, the precise temperatures required for more than 20 different menu items, so they all finish cooking at the exact same moment. One master chef and 29 additional kitchen staff work together to prepare what is arguably the safest meal in America. But before this entire operation even begins, everything comes to a halt because of one bird. Yes, just one turkey. But this isn't an ordinary turkey. It's arguably the most important turkey in America. Picture the elegant marble lobby of the Willard Intercontinental Hotel. Walking across the polished floor is a giant turkey, perhaps the hotel's most expensive guest. The National Turkey Federation books 2 luxury hotel rooms worth thousands of dollars. The floors are covered with protective plastic sheets. Special feeding stations are set up. Dedicated staff work around the clock, making sure these birds live like royalty. And this is where the real story begins. These aren't ordinary farm turkeys. By the time they arrive at the White House, they weigh nearly 3 times more than a typical turkey, around 44 pounds, 20 kilograms. They're selectively bred to look impressive on camera. Ironically, many of them can barely walk. Even more surprising, these birds undergo months of training. They're conditioned to stay calm under bright television lights, sudden loud noises, flashing cameras, and crowds of cheering people. They even listen to music. Classical music helps keep them calm. Certain songs make them unusually aggressive. Others leave them completely confused. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. A Secret Service agent is assigned to inspect a turkey with incredible precision. Every inch of the bird is examined. The wings are checked, the legs are inspected, not because anyone expects the turkey to carry a weapon, but for a far more embarrassing reason. Once the turkey leaves the hotel, it isn't allowed to eat for the next 12 hours. Why? Because if it happened to relieve itself on the president during a live national broadcast, that moment would become part of history forever. No one is willing to take that risk. While the world watches this celebrity turkey, the real battle is unfolding inside the White House kitchen. At 5 a.m., the kitchen transforms into something resembling a high-tech crime lab mixed with a military command center. No cooking begins immediately. The first step is security. Every single ingredient must pass the same strict screening procedures used for suspicious packages sent to the president. Every ingredient is traced from its original source all the way to the White House kitchen. Officials verify exactly where the vegetables were grown, which farm supplied the meat. The complete history of every ingredient is investigated before it's allowed inside. Even the truck driver delivering the food undergoes a background investigation. If the truck makes an unauthorized stop during transit, the entire shipment can be rejected. When the supplies arrive, every package is carefully inspected for signs of tampering, tiny puncture holes, broken seals, evidence that the package was opened and resealed. Next, everything passes through metal detectors. Then comes chemical testing, biological contamination screening. If necessary, radiation detection tests are also performed. Finally, temperatures are checked to make sure nothing spoiled during transportation. Only after passing every one of these inspections are the ingredients transferred into sanitized White House containers. The White House chefs don't just cook, they're also part of the president's security system. Every dish goes through multiple inspections from the moment cooking begins until it's placed on the president's table. Take a grilled steak, for example. The instant it's removed from the grill, its internal temperature is checked. If it hasn't reached at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, it goes right back into the oven. Federal food safety standards require it. The same attention is given to soups, vegetables, desserts, every single item. If anything is even slightly too hot or too cold, it's immediately corrected. One chef's only responsibility is monitoring the president's plate. That chef doesn't serve the food. Their job is simply to make sure everything reaching the president is absolutely perfect and completely safe. After this enormous operation, the clock finally reaches 2 a.m. The silence inside the White House basement is broken by the sound of an oven timer. The turkey goes into the oven. For the next 13 hours, no one inside that room is allowed to leave, not even for a restroom break. If the electrical power fluctuates for even a single second, it can trigger a major emergency. Here's another fascinating fact. The president pays for personal meals out of his own pocket. Yes, even presidents, including the Trump family, are personally responsible for paying for their private meals. At the end of every month, the White House chief usher prepares a detailed bill. Every egg, every pound of meat, every vegetable, everything is itemized like a restaurant receipt. Even while serving as the most powerful person in the country, the president still pays for family dinners himself. That's done to ensure taxpayer money isn't used for personal expenses. Finally, when the meal reaches the president's table, the entire kitchen staff quietly holds its breath. President Trump may calmly finish his dinner. He may smile with approval. He may simply say, "That was excellent." But he'll never see the countless layers of planning, inspections, and security that took place before a simple bowl of soup or a steak ever reached his table. Once the president leaves for his next meeting, the kitchen staff finally exhales. Another mission has been completed successfully, but there's little time to rest. Preparations for tomorrow's operation begin immediately, because inside the White House, every presidential meal is treated like a special mission, and the story behind it is every bit as dramatic and extraordinary as you might imagine.